What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Front Yard Fantasy Hour presented by FanDuel. I am your host, Simon, joined as always by my very handsome Mike Williams jersey rocking co-host John-Luke Garofalo. What's up, JL?
What up? It's in the game. I'm hyped.
Auto game.
Auto game.
Also joining us today from the Front Yard fam here on our Friday stream, we've got G-Men Jay. What's up, Jay?
Yeah, as you can tell, I'm not in my normal setup. About an hour before the show started, I lost power. So thankfully, my in-laws live right down the street. I just grabbed everything, threw it in a box, and here we are.
And that was actually the only shirt that he was able to grab on the way out the door. I know it's not great to have to wear all this Duke gear, but it was the only available shirt. So
you're lucky my children might be watching. So otherwise, I'd have a few choices for
I'm sorry you have to wear that, Jay. I know it's pretty tough. Guys, also joining us today, we have our good friend Eric Romoff, aka Fantasy Nav, on the show with us today. Eric is the co-founder of Pros with Joe's, which is an awesome charity tournament helping raise money for a bunch of different analysts' favorite charities, pairing regular Joes with these experts to play. And he is the co-founder over at Green Screens Media. So make sure you're following Green Screens Media on Twitter and TikTok. They're at Get Green Screens, and on YouTube, Green Screens Media. Eric, thank you so much for taking the time to come on with us this afternoon, my man.
Yeah, I was a little worried I might be late. About an hour ago, I was cutting the power at Jay's house, but made it in time. Going to be a fun show.
You made great time.
You did make great time, but next time, make sure you get his in-laws' house as well. Now you know. You just got to run over.
He doesn't know where the in-laws' house is. That's.
Hey, you said they were close by. You just cut all of them. Just cut all those houses. Doesn't matter. You'll get them.
We got Albert in the chat ready for today's show. What's up,
Albert?
Welcome in. Mr. Scampers, hey, hi, hello, what's up? How you doing?
Hey.
Salutations.
Chill
Maria,
out, Scampers.
Hi, and hi. One for each of us right there. And Dame says, what is happening, homies? What's up, Dame? Glad to have you in here today. And Jay Wall said, I'm here because JL told me I had to be. JL, is this mandatory attendance?
I don't know. Maybe someone stole my identity.
Maybe.
It's like a Marshawn Lynch situation.
Maybe Jay Wall calls every handsome man JL. I don't know.
Maybe he does.
Because he's never called me JL. So.
Well, Jay.
All right.
Damon here said,
one evidence.
Dame said, can Jay go shirtless instead of wearing that shirt? Jay, can you take that shirt off?
Trust me, it would be much worse.
Bare the nips on cam?
It would be much worse.
Are you sitting like nothing with your back's not against anything, right? You're sitting up straight?
I'm just sitting like this. No, there's
a back to the chair?
It's a squeaky work chair, so I'm trying to stand still and not.
I got you. I just thought it'd be funny if you had to sit there shirtless without a back to your chair.
Yeah, there's no chair, but I'm just sitting in a position like I'm sitting in a chair. I just have really strong legs.
He's working on those Barkley quads.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Woo, also, Joey. What's up, Joey? Joey said, I'm never invited on FanDuel. I guess I am in Scott Fish territory now.
You don't want to be in Scott Fish territory, let me tell you. It's a dangerous place.
It's smelly when you get into that territory.
It is.
And Mr. Scaper said, Jay doing a power squat. Yeah, the entire time he's just he's like wall sitting, but even without the wall. No wall, no chair, just squatting at a 90-degree angle this entire time. Guys, today we brought Eric on here to play one of our favorite games, Poll Perception. Jay is going to be running that game for us. But before we get into that, a couple reminders. First and foremost, if you're not already following our guest, Eric, go and remedy that right this instant. He's one of our favorite people in this industry. He's a great person, great analyst, and you're going to make sure you're following him at Fantasy Nav. Right there below his handsome face on the screen. It's easy to find, easy to type. Make sure you're following him. After that, if you're watching this video, you're probably already on the FanDuel YouTube channel, maybe on Twitch. We got some people watching on Twitch. If you're on Twitch, hit that follow button. If you are on YouTube, make sure you are subscribed to FanDuel. And then head on over to TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Hit at FanDuel on all of those locations. They have a whole team of awesome content creators, almost as cool and handsome as all of us here, helping you guys win some money and win your leagues. Jay, you ready to get into this game?
Let's do it.
Well, too bad. I have to explain the rules first. And then we'll get into the game. Suck it, Jay. That's what you get for wearing Duke clothes. Guys, the game we are playing today is called Poll Perception.
It's called Simon Loses. That's what it's called now. So.
Oh, they're rigging the game as if our games weren't already rigged, Jay. This is like the WWE of fantasy football right here. It's all storylines. We make up all the storylines. Winners are predetermined. Peek behind the curtain. But this game, before the show, Jay found 7 beautiful, succulent, juicy polls about fantasy football or the NFL online. He is going to ask the contestants what they think happened in these polls. So he may ask me, hey, Simon, what percentage of people chose side A in this poll? We're always going to be guessing side A.
6.
I'm going to guess a number. Jay, no, that's not your turn yet. You'll guess the over-under based on my number. So if you think the actual answer is over what I said, you'll guess over. If you think it's under, you'll guess under. Get that right, you're going to get 2 points. The closer I am to the actual number, the more points I'm going to get. We will do 6 polls like this, 2 per person, until we get into our 7th and final round, where all of us will be guessing a number. The person who is closest in that number will get 5 points unless they get it exactly right. And the one with the most points at the end of this game is our poll perception champion. You guys ready?
I'm ready.
Am I allowed to be ready this time?
Do it. Yeah, now you can be ready, Jay.
Well, I randomized the order before we started. I asked Eric a number between 1 and 10, and I randomized it that many times. So, Eric, you will go first. Simon, you will go second. And John Luke, you will go last, as long as I don't lose power. So, we will see.
I was going to see Maria in here saying, is Simon on a crooked chair or is it jerseys crooked? Actually, the whole house is crooked.
Yeah,
it's
about a
like
crooked
Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Yeah.
Do you live in the Leaning Tower of Pisa?
No, it's the Leaning Tower of San Antonio, which is about 30% of the houses whenever you're driving around downtown San Antonio. A solid 30% are leaning just one direction or another. There's one on the street, like 2 streets down from me, like every day I'm expecting to drive by it and it's just falling over. Like it is at an angle that is uncomfortable at this point. And it keeps getting
Are there
worse.
people in there?
I think people live there, yeah. But it is leaning and it's getting worse every day.
There's literally not a day that goes by where I don't pass like a foundation company just doing work on a house in my neighborhood. Like they just live here.
Based off of your background wall, Eric, I can only assume that you are a tiny man in a box.
This is
it looks like you are stuck inside a package.
But also, if you see the direction of the wood there, that's actually those are straight lines. Those aren't diagonal. Very tilted real estate market in San Antonio.
We met in Canton, and he walks like that. It's just he tilts his camera and he's just walking around like
all that compensating.
My perspective just got totally shifted. Where like that looks like the hardwood floor behind you, and somehow you've situated yourself on the wall, like with the hardwood. You're streaming like this with the camera up there over your face.
That would be wild.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it, guys. First question.
Let's do it.
Is for Mr. Eric. Does Jimmy Garoppolo staying in San Francisco impact Trey Lance's dynasty value? A for yes, B for no. And just as a reminder, you will be guessing A, which is yes.
So this one's kind of tricky because I think my answer is different than how people will respond to this poll. Personally, I don't really think it has much impact. I mean, forget his dynasty value, even in the immediate term in redraft, right? So I think people are kind of overreacting to this news, which is par for the course this time of year. I think the number is going to be low, and I will set that 17%.
17%, final answer?
Final answer.
All right, Simon, you going higher or lower?
Well, Jay, first I just wanted to say, despite the Blue Devil shirt, you're looking lovely today.
Thank you.
You just look really great.
No, don't try to suck up now. It's over. It's over. You're already on my crap list.
17%. That's way higher than it should be. Like I just think this has no impact on Trey Lance. It just made the most sense for the 49ers from a football team perspective. They weren't going to get something that was more valuable to them than having Jimmy G as a backup. There just wasn't an offer on the table that was more valuable than that as a safety blanket. So I'm gonna give some credit to the people voting on this poll on this one, and I'm gonna take the under here. I'm gonna think that fewer people took it, especially in Dynasty, like even more so than in redraft. Like if anything, this affects his redraft value a little bit more than Dynasty in my mind. I'm taking the under.
All right, JL, what you thinking?
Oh, I hate when I agree with Simon. But I am going to go the other direction. I do not have as much faith in humanity, so I will take the over. Thank you very much.
Final answer? I don't care if it's your final answer. It's already on the paper, even though there's no paper.
It was, so it didn't matter.
So let's take a look at the guesses in the chat. Joey, I'm going to skip over because he's talking junk about me. Albert went with 33%. Mr. Scampers went with 11%. My guy Marty went with 42%. And Dame went with 50%. And I guess I'll circle back to Joey at 28%. The percentage of people that think Jimmy G affects Trey Lance's dynasty value is 31%. JL, well played. Yep, I was shocked.
Let's go.
Yep.
Suck it, Eric.
At 17, Eric, you get 1 point. Simon, you get a big fat 0, and I'm glad. JL, you know what? I'm pulling for you today, other than Eric. Between you and Simon, I hope you finish second. I want Eric to win, but I hope Simon finishes last.
So really all you're saying is I'm cheering against Simon. You were like, I'm pulling for you after Eric.
Yeah. Basically, you're just there. You're just, right. I just feel neutral.
You exist.
Yeah. That's what my mom tells me.
Alrighty, let's go. Anybody have some thoughts on Trey Lance?
Yeah, I mean, he's a great high upside late round pick in drafts in 1 QB leagues. I know in 2 QB he's going up early. All these quarterbacks get pushed up, but if you can get Trey Lance 7th, 8th, 9th round in some of these leagues, 7 is a little early, but 8, 9 in that range, I love him as a quarterback for this year. That rushing ability is just a cheat code in fantasy football, right? Like it's something that can take a quarterback that would have been average for fantasy and make them a top 5 guy. So I'm not sure that's going to be what happens for Trey Lance, but it's in his range of outcomes. We've seen it multiple times, and he's the kind of player that I like taking that shot on after like the big names at quarterback are gone. You can grab Trey Lance instead of, I don't know, someone boring that's just going to get you some points.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And I love this news in particular, right? Because Trey Lance was ever so steadily creeping up draft boards as ADP was increasing. But now with this news, apparently 33% of humanity that we shouldn't have faith in is impacted by it. And you can still get him in that 9th, 10th round, right? He was kind of creeping into that 7th, 8th for a while, but now the value's there. We got to go attack it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm still all in on Trey Lance. I think if he starts the entire season, which I still expect him to, I think he's going to finish as a top 10 option with that rushing upside. And if he's able, if Kyle Shanahan is able to max out his full potential, I don't see a top 5 season out of the realm of possibility. But speaking of top 5 seasons, let's go ahead to the very next question. Now, you guys had to know with me hosting, a Laviska Shenault poll would come up. Will Laviska Shenault be fantasy viable this season? A is yes, B is no, which honestly, I don't understand why there's even a no option because it's obviously A. But Simon, I will defer to you for your decision. What do you think the Twitterverse has to say in this? Are people back in on Laviska Shenault getting traded to the Carolina Panthers?
Well, I mean, obviously, Laviska Shenault is the next Deebo Samuel on the Carolina Panthers. We've been looking for the next Deebo. He shows up on the Panthers, Baker Mayfield in town. We've got the next Deebo Samuel on our hands, but I don't think people realize it yet. I think people have been burned too hard. And just to clear things up for anybody listening, I do not believe that Laviska Shenault should, in maybe like an 18-team league in the 16th round, you can grab Laviska Shenault, but otherwise, he's just not going to be fantasy relevant in that offense. They have enough pieces, enough mouths to feed. They've got Christian McCaffrey. They've got Robbie Anderson. They've got DJ Moore. And that's enough right there before we get any further down that depth chart to make Laviska Shenault maybe unnecessary. I think we'll see him probably in different aspects of the game, maybe some special teams roles.
Use unnecessary? That's hurtful.
Yeah, it could be hurtful, but I mean, I think he is unnecessary in that offense, which is not what you want from a player that you want to be fantasy viable. And I think most people that were into Laviska Shenault were burned so bad that they are out, even though that's not good process. Know what I mean? To like just be out on a player because they burned you. He burned people bad. People were so excited. People bought like t-shirts and stuff that they wore on stream all the time. Jay, I'm going to go with 11% said yes on the Laviska Shenault side. On the yes side.
All right. JL, we'll go to you next. What do you think? How people are reacting to Laviska Shenault? Is Simon right on, or is he a little high, a little low?
What was his number again? 11?
11%.
I'm going to take the under. I think less people are going to think that Laviska Shenault is going to come back. I think that side probably consists solely of Jay.
Hey. No, there's dozens of us. Dozens.
Yeah, exactly.
Eric, what you thinking?
So the real question here is, among the dozens of Visca stands out there, what's the average number of burner accounts per, right?
I've got 27.
Logically, I think this should be under, but the nature of Twitter polls and just how much fervor there was around Laviska Shenault last year.
Just say the nature of Twitter and just stop right there. And that describes it perfectly.
I'm gonna take the over here, but I don't feel good about it.
The over. All right, let's take a look what the chat said.
Split the room, Simon.
Marty, you know what, Marty? I thought you were my guy. Marty said 1.
Sheesh.
1%.
Joey right. 2. Mr. Scampers went along.
I thought they were going to count up.
No, that would have been nice. Mr. Scampers went with 11. Albert went with 7. Let's see. Cody said, "Can I vote negative amounts? That's hurtful, and I don't appreciate that tone."
I'm with you, Cody.
Trenton said, "Robbie Anderson will pay for his comments about Mayfield. He will hold it against him." I don't know. We'll have to see. Another Jay who's high on, great name. And you know what? I appreciate you being the highest on the list in this room. So great job. And yes, I would post a negative Visca poll. And I would like to say Jay Wall threw in a 6 out there. As much as I was in on Visca last year, he didn't burn me that bad because I didn't overpay. As much as I loved him, it's all about value. He was a big old bust, and he will be this year too. But that's here nor there. The amount of people that think, the percentage of people that think Laviska Shenault will be fantasy viable this year is...
It's exactly right. I know it.
It's exactly right, 11%.
Oh, you
with the call, we got it, baby. Woo!
Well played.
Dig yourselves out of that hole, suckers. We are
go.
It. Oh, I needed that. It's been a while since I've gotten.
I was wondering if somebody was going to pull out the Queen Bee.
Oh my gosh, it's been a long time.
I'm only playing Queen Bee from now on.
I should have played the Queen Bee. I forgot that was a rule.
Oh,
every time.
There we go. Well, through 2 questions, Simon is up. It's 10, correct? If you get it on the nose,
it is 10.
JL has 2 points and Eric has 1, but we still have plenty of polls to continue to go.
And when I start strong, it generally doesn't go well for me the rest of the game.
Yeah, you usually do better when you start off terrible.
Yeah,
you're not an endurance guy.
Something in common
at all.
I just can't go up big or I blow the lead.
That's what she
said. Not the only one.
All right. With the next question, the consensus 101 overall right now. Oh, I'm sorry. Is Damian Pierce going to be a top 20 RB this season? JL, A is yes, B is no, and this one is for you.
So what percentage of the public chose side A? It's going to be yes. I think it's going to be high. Damian Pierce, I think a lot of people are hyped and fully bought in at this point as Damian Pierce is the number one guy. I'm gonna go with 70%.
70%. Is that your final answer?
Yes, it is.
That is your final answer. 70%. Now you guys keep saying Damian. Is it? You sure that it's not just Damian?
That's how it's spelled. I've just been going with how it's spelled.
Well, that can be a fool's errand sometimes, but
fool's errand.
Let's go ahead. Eric, what do you think? Is JL's guess a little high, a little low, just right? Get a Queen Bee it?
So right off the top, your first question, I just go with Pierce. Anytime that I don't know someone's pronunciation, I just quiver and cower and go with the easiest part of their name. This one's tricky because I know that his ADP is exploding. I think the last time I checked it, he was around RB 28 or so. But it's been a few days. It wouldn't surprise me if he's nearing the 101 at this point. But that number feels just a bit high. So I'm gonna take the under on it.
Okay, going with the under on 70. Simon, on to you. What are you thinking?
I mean, just to echo what Eric said on NFFC, if I remember correctly, I think we looked at that this morning. He is over the last 2 weeks going as the RB23, right around like J.K. Dobbins in that range is where Damian Pierce is being drafted. Like the hype is there. The hype exists. Just like Eric said, like he's moving into that territory of being drafted in this range. What number did you say, Eric? I know.
JL went with 70.
JL went with 70.
I saw some places that Damian Pierce is going over Breece Hall, and that to me just absolutely absurd.
It happened in our dynasty startup or our dynasty rookie draft in one of our leagues a couple days ago. He went 101, which is absolute insanity. But I just don't think there's enough people that have reasonable expectations. Like he doesn't have to be top 20 to be a great running back this season. He can be RB 32 and still have like a really good season for him. I'll take the under. I'll take the under. 70 is just a little high.
All right, now let's take a look at the chats.
What's the chat got to say?
My guy Marty said 62%.
Marty.
Albert went with 45. Joey copied Albert and went with 45. The best chat cat went with 39. We got a 55 from Trenton. Dame with 64. J-Wall with a 3.5. Cody with a 61%. The percentage of the public that thinks Damian Pierce will finish as a top 20 running back is 63%.
Okay,
Ooh,
I'll take it.
Got 2 unders, so we
Close.
get 2 points each for that. And JL, you are within 10 points, so you get.
Give me them points.
Seeing the chat guesses all come in under made me immediately regret my decision. And most of my choices, honestly.
Now, while I add these points in there, we've got a couple of questions.
Yep. Yeah, I'll hit them. So we got Goose in here. Goose. Drafted 8 out of 12 PPR league.
So there's a 12-team league, JL, and they drafted 8th is what I'm assuming is going on here.
Okay.
Instead of trying to make that a fraction, yeah.
I've just never seen it written like
sure
that.
They didn't
I didn't
draft
know. Okay.
On the 12th of August?
That's what I'm saying. It could have been 8th, 12th. PPR, so Russell Wilson, Keenan Allen, DK Metcalf, Mixon, Najee, Pitts, Amari Cooper, Carl's kicker, Ramsey. I'm guessing this is so he's asking for thoughts. What do you guys think about this team here that he drafted on August 12th?
Running backs are sick. Like Najee and Mixon, that's a sick running back core that you've got there. It's got to be one of the best in your league. Now, I got concerns at your wide receiver position. That doesn't mean it can't be good. Keenan Allen is going to be great this year, but there is the chance that Mike Williams becomes that 1A to Keenan Allen's 1B instead of Keenan Allen being the 1A to Mike Williams 1B in that offense. DK Metcalf is going to be playing with Geno Smith this year, so he's an unbelievably talented receiver. But maybe
That's a big butt.
But it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough in that Seahawks offense. And then Amari Cooper is going to be playing with Jacoby Brissett for 11 weeks. The strength of this team comes with your quarterback and your running backs, and your tight end, obviously, with Kyle Pitts. Your receivers are a little bit questionable, but still good, especially in a 12-man league. I think this is going to be a contending team, but your receiving core is where I'd be looking to upgrade on the waiver wire or trades throughout the season.
Yeah, I've got to disagree with Simon here. I think the strength of this team is clearly Carlson at kicker.
True,
but beyond that,
true.
I'm actually so I do agree that the wide receiver core is the biggest question mark, but I'm higher on DK Metcalf than most. If you look at the 4 games that Geno Smith started last year, DK Metcalf was wide receiver 4 in that stretch. He averaged almost 20 points, 19.6 points. Specifically, the kind of texture, the approach to this team, where you got the safe guy in Keenan Allen to kind of counterbalance the risk that DK Metcalf brings alongside his upside, is an approach that I've been deploying a lot. The thing that makes me a little bit more bearish on it though is that Amari Cooper pick. He should lead this team in receiving yards and in receptions, probably receiving touchdowns, but those are going to be pretty dramatically lower than they've been really at any point in Amari's career.
Absolutely. We want to hit this other question. We want to go to the next poll.
That next question real quick. I see it in there. Marty is asking us, are you guys in on Ayuk this year? Are you in on Ayuk?
Ayuk.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said.
Aren't you in on Ayuk?
Are you in
I just took the Y out
Ayuk?
entirely and just Ayuk. Eric, what about you? Are you in on Ayuk this year?
So I'm not in on Brandon, as I question whether it's Ayuk or Ayuk. It's really two things, right? Like his ADP has been climbing a bit over the last month or so. It's not necessarily unreasonable, but more so, I think that this offense is going to be even more of a run-first scheme and system than even what Kyle Shanahan's teams have been historically, given just how electric and dynamic as a rusher Trey Lance is. So, last year he had his kind of weird off-the-field punishment stuff that kept him from running a full complement of snaps until about week 7 or 8. So I think those are in the rearview mirror, but I think on the whole, this offense is going to be throwing the ball a lot less. And so that's going to pull Ayuk down for me.
I'm a little bit higher on Ayuk this year, and it's two things. One, it's what we've seen on the field, not just this past season after he got out of the doghouse. He was a good wide receiver whenever he came back in that like wide receiver 2 range the rest of the season. But the year before, he had like a stretch of games at the end of the year as well, where he was like the number 2 wide receiver during that stretch of like 6 or 7 games. So we've seen the upside with him. He can be a top level receiver in that offense. The hesitancy comes with the changing quarterback. And if the changing quarterback can support like all of those receiving options in that offense, can they support Deebo Samuel, especially if Deebo Samuel is going to be having less rushing work this year, which you would think would mean he's more involved in the receiving game. George Kittle as well. Brandon Ayuk is clearly third there. But that being said, I'll take the super talented wide receiver that seems to be out of the doghouse and has been getting nothing but positive reports, like glowing reports out of camp that Brandon Ayuk is just looking like a superstar. So I'm fine with that shot. I understand I think the risk is mitigated some because I feel like his floor, unless he finds his way back into trouble with Shanahan, is in that like wide receiver 2 territory. And so if it doesn't work out, I still think I have a guy I can start. If it does work out, you've got someone with like serious upside.
Yeah, and I still think even though his ADP is rising, sorry, JL, I was supposed to say, even though his ADP is rising, I still think he's going late enough that he's worth the risk where he's going. And there's been also reports that him and Trey Lance have had some rapport in camp. So, we don't know, even though we expect Deebo Samuel and George Kittle to be the 1-2, if they've got a relationship, if they've got that chemistry built in, Trey Lance could, Ayuk, whatever you want to call him, could be higher than we expect.
Yep. And just for some context, on NFFC, over the past 2 weeks only, he's currently being drafted as the wide receiver 39. So in that, like outside of the wide receiver 3 range, I'm fine drafting him. I get the concerns, but that kind of mitigates a little bit of it for me that he's going that late.
Yeah. I think I echo your guys' sentiments. Definitely the pass volume thing. I'm just not in on him as much. He wasn't very consistent last year, and I think a lot's going to be changing this offense. Not only the quarterback, but George Kittle is back. We don't know, and Deebo is there. We just don't know how many targets Ayuk's actually going to be able to get. So he didn't really crack the top wide receiver 3. He didn't really crack that very much last year. So, and that's another aspect of it.
Yeah. Tim in here saying Deebo is on a train keeping him at the moon.
At the moon.
I'm not quite sure what that means, but
I know what it means.
I agree with Tim. Deebo's on a train keeping him at the moon. Without 100%. A doubt. Without a doubt, that's accurate.
Nobody knows what it means, but it gets the people going. Let's go to the next one. Eric, this is going to come back to you through one round. Simon, you are in the lead with 12 points. JL, you are in second with 5. And Eric, you're on the comeback train going towards the moon with 3 points.
I'm with
Question to you. Which side do you want in a Dynasty Superflex? A, Joe Burrow and T. Higgins, or B, CeeDee Lamb and JL's favorite quarterback in the NFL, Kirk Cousins?
Oh, man. as much as I want to take an opportunity to just continue to slander and drag Kirk Cousins, I'll try to be nice. I think this will be one of his best seasons, and he will probably finish around QB 17, 14. So for me, side A is pretty clearly the way that you want to go. You've got the younger and, for my money, twice over more desirable assets. These guys are stacked up, which is everyone's favorite move when they're constructing their roster overall. I think side A wins by a pretty considerable margin. I'll set my line at 67%.
67%. Final answer?
Final answer.
Final answer. Simon, got your Clemson boy in here with Mr. T. Higgins. What do you think?
I think this is going to just get people. Like, I look at this poll and I'm like, I don't even see how people click on that other side. Like, looking at this, and just not necessarily that I don't think it's relatively even for this upcoming year, maybe even for a couple years from a fantasy points perspective, but Kirk Cousins is left for dead in dynasty because he's older than 26, right? People are loving these young quarterbacks. Like Dak Prescott, I know, is 29, like, but you start seeing these guys dip, and Kirk Cousins, no one's excited to get him in fantasy. You know what I mean? Every other name on this list, people are excited about getting on their dynasty roster. So you've got excited. Kirk Cousins just at the end right
Greek
there, like
yogurt.
Just right there. So I think whenever people look at this, Eric, I loved what you brought up about the stack. Like that's just like the cherry on top of this ice cream sundae that's going to make people pick that side. I think it's going to be even higher. I forget what number you said, but whatever you said, it wasn't high enough. It's going to be higher than that.
I said 95%.
Higher, without a doubt.
And actually, I forgot what number you said too. So, Eric, what number did you say? 67%?
You got full mulligan right here if you want to mix it up. None of us even remember.
The chat will hold you accountable.
I believe it was 67, right?
67%.
Okay. That's what I had written down.
Hopefully.
I just wanted to make sure.
I don't know.
JL, what are you thinking?
Give me, we have way over and way under.
We do have way over and way under now, but I did not introduce that, so I can explain that now. So, Eric, you may not have played with us since we implemented those rules, but I wasn't going to take it anyways, JL. So if you still want to take it, you can. But now that we are into the second round of our game, instead of just over under, if you want to guess way over or way under now, we are implementing that mechanic. What that means is you think that your opponent's guess was really bad, 15 percentage points or more off. If you are correct, you will get 4 points instead of 2. If you're wrong, though, say it's only 11 over and you guessed way over, you're going to get 0 points. So it's a double or nothing mechanic when you think your opponents are just really, really just so far off on that poll.
I love the fact that JL is about to make a heel turn and pick the way under in favor of the Kirk Cousins side.
I wish I could. I really wish I could. I'm taking the way over. Give me the way over on this one.
77, 82.
Oh, God, this is good. Yeah, 82. I'm terrified.
I was told there would be no math.
Well, you were told wrong. There's many math.
Right.
In whole
It's all math.
Many math. Dame going with 77%. Albert with 65. Justin with 68. Let's
Not
see.
high enough.
Mr. Scamper said, until I see Tim in person, I'm going to continue to believe he's an AI deepfake testing for our tolerances for chaos. I've met Tim, and I still believe this. But
if Tim is an AI bot or an AI deepfake, where did all of his like data training come from? Like, what did they use?
My freshman year of college.
What did they use to source Tim AI then?
My freshman year of college, after a night of drinking, I would come back to the dorm and just start typing in random words, just whatever I was thinking, and then that created Tim.
Turned into Tim.
that was like the seed. It was freshman year Simon, just like trying to come up with like my dream friend, like the ultimate friend,
like
everything I could possibly want. Yeah. He appeared out of the pile of garbage sitting on my futon in my dorm.
All the hair.
Yeah. Hair came out first, and then the body formed underneath. And then he just climbed his way out of the
That's where all your hair went.
Onto Tim, yes. I gave Tim my body hair.
Sense. It makes sense. Marty with 69.
Oh, Marty. So naughty.
Nice.
Cody.
Tim let us know it came from your mom.
Damn it. That's so good. She would totally do something like that.
88% for Mr. Scampers, 90 for Trenton.
Trenton, what up?
And I believe that. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed Tim Chaos with 61%.
My dude.
Tim Chaos.
We've got Eric with the guess of 67%. Simon with the over. JL with the way over. Needs to be, what was 82% or more. JL, how you feeling?
I feel great. Hanging with my friends. It's Friday night. FanDuel.
Well, you should feel bad about yourself because it was 81%.
I never feel bad about myself.
Oh, it was
Always.
81%?
81%.
That's sussed up.
Yeah. Missed it by that much.
You know what? I'm glad I went for the shot because you cowards wouldn't have.
You're right. I would have been smart.
Is there a limit to how many times I can guess way over or under?
No.
Well,
I guess two.
I mean, the number of polls,
times. Yeah, just there's two more rounds where you can do it. But
I mean, I guess you could keep doing it. Just like go out to dinner tonight, way over.
They bring you the bill and you're like, way under.
Way
the actual
under.
price of my meal was way under the number you put in front of me.
Yes.
I feel like if you dug in on that, you could probably get a discount on your ticket too.
Oh my god!
Like, just get him out of here, whatever he says.
You start polling people in the restaurant as well. Like
Simon, I feel like we were both racing each other to that joke. I could just see it like going in your face.
We got there, though. We got there. Also, I love Mr. Scampers in here on the Tim stuff. So thank you for your sacrifice, Simon. You will be held accountable. That's fair. You know what? I want to be held accountable for everything Tim does. Tie me to that man forever.
Same.
Clip that. All right. Next poll, Simon, is going to be for you.
Oh, for me?
From you?
Yes. It is.
Yeah, Jay, I'm going to be honest. I was getting a little sleepy, and then I got that poll exactly right. And all of a sudden, I'm ready to run through a brick wall. Like, I'm ready to go.
You know what? Somebody who I do think could run through a brick wall would be Derrick Henry. And let's go with a poll about Mr. Henry. True or false? Derrick Henry finishes 2022 as the RB3 or better. Side A is true, RB3 or better. Side B is false, RB4 or worse.
Man, this is one where I feel like even if someone has them ranked in their top 3 running backs going into the season, just there is so much uncertainty and such a high probability of injury at the running back position. Not just Derrick Henry. I'm not calling him injury prone. I'm saying running backs are the position where players get injured the most often for fantasy football. So like just calling your shot that someone will finish as a RB3 or better, even if they're your favorite player, seems like a difficult thing to do. Man. And there's a couple good names up there ahead of him, right? Like I know Christian McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor's probably ahead of him for most people, but then we're talking Austin Eckler. We're talking Joe Mixon as well. We're talking Najee Harris, Dalvin Cook is all names that people could potentially have ahead of Derrick Henry. And then even the people that have him at 3, like maybe he's in a tier with Joe Mixon, Alvin Kamara, and Najee Harris. And now you're not confident that he's going to end at 3, just that he ends in that tier. I think this is going to be lower than my initial thoughts whenever I first looked at this. I think this is going to be around, you know, let's go with the 3-5 crew, 3-5 and straight vibing. I'm going to take 35%.
3-5 and straight vibing. Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
JL, you looking over there like you're thinking. What you thinking?
Derrick Henry. Derrick. Henry.
I bet you could fist fight a grizzly bear and win. Like if there's one player in the NFL that could fist fight a grizzly bear and win, it's him.
It's Aaron Donald. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Offensive side of the ball. Defensive side.
Come on, get out of here.
You know what? Give me Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's just gonna show up, walk out there, and the Bear's gonna concede. The Bear's gonna be like, yeah, you know what? You earned this. You got it.
That's a man.
That's a man.
Did you guys know he went to Harvard?
Never.
Yes, we did.
Did you ever hear that?
All right. Derrick Henry finishes 2022 as the RB3 or better. Simon did 35%, right?
3-5 and straight vibing.
I'll take the. Why am I reading this wrong?
Probably. That tends to be a pattern with you. So are you reading this as an RB 36 or better whenever it says RB 3, or are you reading this
the RB 3?
The RB 3.
So A is RB 3 or higher.
Okay.
B is RB 4 or lower. So
this poll is not asking will Derrick Henry be a top 36
I feel like
the
V should be capitalized. Big old block letters. The RB3.
It's not Ohio State. It's just the title.
I don't know, man. If it's used in two different ways.
You're right. You're right.
All right. Derrick Henry. I'm gonna say under.
Eric, you going with JL with the under, or are you gonna let Simon split the room?
Neither. I'm going with JL directionally, but I'm going to take the way under. This is on the season, right? This isn't points per game.
I'm guessing just this is how it was asked, probably.
Right.
Yeah,
I cannot confirm nor deny.
This isn't a poll that you put out there personally.
No,
yeah, I'll go way under. I mean, right now, at least when I checked a couple of days ago, Derrick Henry was around like RB 5 or 6 in ADP. He's heading into his age 29 season, and I know that freaks out a lot of people, much like me. There's always the injury concern. There are so many shingles that I can tack to an argument for why he finishes RB 4 or worse. So I'll go way under on side A.
You all right, JL?
Yeah, I'm thinking Eric just convinced me I should have went higher.
Should have went higher or lower?
No, like way over too.
Oh, he went way under.
Oh, I thought he went way over.
No, he went way under with you.
Just convinced me. He convinced me the other direction somehow.
He convinced you what he was not trying to convince you.
Wow, you just convinced me of your counterpoint.
What does that say about Eric? That's a little confusing. Actually, what does it say about JL?
Or under?
It terrifies me that I'm not understanding this question correctly. I think more words need to be capitalized.
Blame it on the capitalization. Well,
blame it on the goose.
32.
Blame it on the cap.
Got you feeling loose.
That's
41%.
That was bad. I love that you committed to it. I respect that.
Once I started, I had to finish it. I wasn't going to give up halfway through.
I could sense your hesitancy, but you pushed through.
This has been fun. I think I'm out of here after that.
Right.
No, I can't stay. We'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
Trenton went with 98%.
Trenton.
Somebody loves him some King Henry.
He did correct himself, though, and said, RB3 total. I thought what JL was thinking, so I changed it to 60%.
My man, see, Trenton's smart.
Right. Dame with a 59%. Marty with 46%. Mr. Scampers, the chat cat, with 29%.
Meow.
Deck says 44%.
That's Tim's brother. Hi, Deck.
Hey, Deck.
I miss you, Deck. Remember when we did an
Deck.
escape room together and Tim wore a dress?
Remember we went to the bar in Clemson together and Tim wore a dress?
Yeah, okay, about that. Hello, Bam. Just want to shout out. And
hey, Bam. What up, Bam?
It's the percentage of people that think King Henry can finish as a top 3 running back in 2022. 55%.
What? 55.
I don't remember which way I took.
5%.
Joe, you get nothing. Nobody gets any points on this.
Gets anything.
Woo!
Yeah.
I did
Yeah,
it. Defense.
These people.
Here's what happens every time. No one thinks through the question whenever it asks, will they be a top 10
This
guy?
is
Will they
Twitter.
be a top 3 guy? Will they be a top 20 guy?
And true
what they see is
yeah.
they read it as, is Derrick Henry good? A is yes, B is no. You know what I mean? That's what always happens on these polls. It doesn't matter where you set that line, like, do you like Derrick Henry? And then they just vote yes or no.
I would say that no less than 22 and a third % of A voters were also confused by the question, like JL. And
I was
like
about
myself.
to say that. Yeah. I bet you.
We
I
need
bet you.
to think,
we should have accounted for that.
Realistically,
You guys can boot it, but we really should. I should have accounted for it.
Nobody in their right mind is going to think this is even a question.
Except for Trenton and JL. We do not want to insult Trenton, at least.
Everybody reads everything very carefully.
Yeah, okay.
What percentage of Twitter users can read? Who knows?
That's a good question.
See,
but I guess it reads to you also.
believe the closest in the chat was Dame at 59%.
Nice, Dame. Pretty good guess right there.
And Deck would have got points, like Tim said. So congratulations, Deck.
First poll ever guessing. Nice job, Deck. Welcome to Poll Perception, baby.
Big Deck.
Now, I'm one of those. I'm completely out on Derrick Henry this season. I know, he's King Henry, but I would just like to be. I'm the guy that likes to be a year too early versus a year too late. So JL is dead now. Eric, I'll throw it to you. Where are you comfortable drafting Derrick Henry this season?
Right around his ADP, maybe a little bit lower. Towards the back end of the first round would be the point where I would consider it. I mean, the things that are working in his favor, he finally started catching the ball last year, right? In essentially half the season, he basically tied his season high or his career high in receptions. So if they continue doing that, I think he will continue to score at a prolific rate. But he's getting old, and those foot injuries are terrifying. We talked about a team that drafted Najee Harris earlier. Najee Harris was my RB3 for really the majority of the offseason. And now that there's these whispers of a Liz Frank injury hanging around out there, I'm terrified, especially because it's being whispered, right? If someone just said it sternly, Liz Frank injury, I might have to deal with it.
I wish this lady Liz would just leave these guys alone and let them play football. I'm getting sick and tired of her.
Does anybody else, every time they hear Liz Frank, automatically just like in your mind is populated with like an overwhelming graphic of the Lisa Frank stickers, like the very colorful, like animal-y, shiny, like cool,
I know exactly what you're talking
Lisa
about.
Frank stickers.
Simon, I can confidently say you are the only person in the entire world that thinks Lisa Frank when they hear Liz Frank.
It's one letter apart. Don't act like I'm
sure Lisa Frank thinks of herself.
I bet, Lisa Frank thinks, why the hell did they butcher my name and name this disease after me? Name this injury after me and mess my name up? Come on.
That's correct. It's unicorns. And you know what? I got to see if they still make Lisa Frank stuff, because that sounds something like my daughter would absolutely love, because she's...
I'm going to be honest with you guys. I have no idea what a Lisa Frank is.
Are you serious? Yeah, that doesn't surprise me either. But that's okay. You guys got a big fat 0 that round. Let's go into the final poll before the final poll. You like that? You like that? Jay Wall is going to like this one. JL, which do you prefer in dynasty fantasy football? A 2023 second round pick. B, Damian Harris. Jay Wall's favorite player.
Your butt.
Well, they couldn't do that because C would get 100%. So.
Oh, how did your butt already? I already heard it in my head.
You were pre-thinking it. I had to look in my eyes because you could see my face. I was saying, don't say your butt. Don't say your butt. Don't say your butt. And then that's all I could think of. That's
your butt.
If you've had one conversation with Simon, you knew your butt was coming. Like,
all right. That does sound pretty funny. 2023 second round pick, Damian Harris. This doesn't say super flex.
You can read. Congratulations.
Get out of here. Dynasty Fantasy Football 2023 second round pick. I'm going to go with 35%.
35%. Final answer?
You heard me.
Oh, excuse me. 3-5 and straight vibe. And Eric, what are we thinking? Is it too low? It's too high? Way too low? Way too high? It's probably way too high.
I think
that's a joke.
That's probably close to correct, but I also don't think that statistically we can have more than one queen bee in a single show.
You don't know that.
I'll make it.
You don't know that.
I'll make a tactical error and just answer this question based on my own personal judgment and logic. I would much rather have a 2023 second round pick than Damian Harris. So I think that it is going to be over the 3.5 mark.
Over the 3.5. Simon, what are you thinking?
I think most dynasty players hate Damian Harris. They're desperate for someone to take over that role from him. So even if they think he's going to be decent this year, which I think a lot of people don't, people look at his draft price, look where he's going in redraft leagues. Like if they're not excited for him this year, how excited can they be for him the year after? And the year after that, I think it's going to be way over. Like, I think this is going to be at least, that would be what, 50% on the second round pick side?
Yes.
Give me that way over.
Yes. We went 3-5 and straight vibing for JL. Let's take a look at the chats.
Chat is not with me.
I should not have looked at the private chat because I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep my composure. Dame with 64%. Joey letting us know that he's back. Congratulations,
What's up, Joey?
Marty with the 57%. Joey went with 55%. Mr. Scampers with 74%. Albert, 68%. Trenton, 64%.
64%. I like all those guesses. The guesses in the chat are making me feel pretty good.
They are,
but
not
also
making me feel good.
There have been polls where not only all of us have been wrong, but like everyone in the chat except for Dame has been wrong as well today. Like there's been some pretty brutal polls.
I will say Dame too. Somebody is 1 percentage point off. Might be in the chat. Might be on the screen.
It's not JL.
It's not JL. 75%.
Wow. Woohoo!
Went with the 2023 second round pick. So Simon, you're way overpaid off. JL, I'm sorry. You're terrible at this. Mr. Scampers, 74%. Well played, Scamps. I know it's I do like Damian Harris, especially at his draft price. I think he's priced appropriately. JL, we'll start with you. What do you think about Damian Harris for this upcoming season?
I think he'll be fine. He's on that Patriots offense. Bill Belichick used him last year, and Ramondre Stevenson is there. We know that limits his upside, which is fine. Like Simon said earlier, his draft costs really reflects it already. So where he's being drafted, I'm fine with him.
Yep, and that's exactly how I feel. I'm not like jumping out of my seat excited for the Damian Harris show that we're going to see this year, but I think he'll be decent again. And he had what was it, like 15 rushing touchdowns last year, something preposterous. Like I'm not expecting that again, but if he keeps that goal line roll, which I assume that he will, he could threaten for double-digit touchdowns, and there's value in fantasy regardless of what else he's doing on the field just from that front. So I like him at cost, especially if he's my RB3, RB4 in that range. Not a guy that I have to start.
Yeah, and there's always. Go ahead, Eric.
Until that last point, I was in total disagreement with Simon, but I am comfortable with Damian Harris in a position where I don't have to rely on his week over week output. Right, his 15 touchdowns in my mind are actually an argument against him. He only had 202 rushing attempts, so to get that many touchdowns on such a low workload, such a low touch volume, it just screams regression. Right, he should still have this goal line roll, to your point, but this offense, according to second-year quarterback Mac Jones, has a lot of dead ends in it, and it is being led by some combination of Joe Judge and Matt Patricia. So I think that the number
we don't speak that name in this place.
The number of goal line opportunities for this entire offense is going to go down considerably this year, even if it is Damian Harris that's getting the majority of them.
I know, but Devontae Parker's there now. Did you consider that? It could change the whole game, right?
Right. I mean,
I've never been so wrong. Please, no. I would like an opportunity to recant my entire last statement.
And traditionally, New England is a backfield that you want to stay away from, but the only other guy besides Ramondre Stevenson and Damian Harris is Ty Montgomery. I'm not concerned about Ty Montgomery. James White retired. They said Pierre Strong isn't having a strong, start to his career. So I think
made the team.
Yeah, I think that this is a year that I have a lot of both. And honestly, between Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson, I've been drafting who's been going cheaper because, it started off that Ramondre Stevenson was going a lot cheaper. Now the hype's going up. He's now, I don't have it in front of me, but he's been going sooner than Damian Harris in a lot of drafts that I've been in. So I think at their cost, I think they're both worth the risk. They should have a pretty significant role in this offense, even if it isn't necessarily a high scoring one.
And just to close off what you were saying there, Jay, Ramondre Stevenson the last 2 weeks on NFFC is the RB 29 overall, whereas Damian Harris is the RB33. So he is going pick 81 versus pick 91. So almost a round difference between them now. Ramondre Stevenson going earlier.
I will take a shot on a guy who's going to likely have a goal line role and a significant amount of work in the backfield. All right. Well, going into the final round, Simon leads the way with 18 points. Eric has 6. JL has 5.
Coming back.
Is there any way that anybody can come back, or is this this all?
This is a runaway. This is a runaway, baby.
We can do it, Eric. If we combine our forces.
If you combine,
I'll allow it. I will allow it. We'll combine the scores to try to beat Simon.
Wait, you have to combine your scores, and one of you has to get it exactly right, and then you can beat.
Well, they're gonna. Simon, when I found out that my power was out and I might not be on the show, I was upset simply for this question. I got this poll specifically for you, Simon. Specifically for you.
And I don't think you mean that in a kind way.
What's your favorite thing about corn? A, it's corn. B, the knobs. C, butter plus corn equals mind blown. D, it has a juice.
Ew.
It has the juice.
D, it has the juice.
Can't imagine a more beautiful thing.
I
hate you. I just got this stupid song out of my head.
No, you didn't. You sang it this morning.
Yeah. I said just. I didn't say this morning, you idiot.
I've heard you sing it twice today before the show. So nice try.
Well, guys, we've been on here for an hour and I haven't sung it yet. Did you forget what the word just means? It means very recently.
Oh, my God. You knobs.
This was worth all the trouble to come on this show just for this moment right here. Eric, do you have a something? Or it's not your first rodeo. Do you have something to write on your phone? Or?
It is not my first rodeo, and every single time I forget something to write on in this rodeo.
Do you have your phone close by?
Ooh, I've got something fantastic to write on.
Ooh.
This is a nice.
I'm excited.
Cut callback.
Is it an Arby's oven mitt?
Better.
And if you're watching, you have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. Go on TikTok, search corn, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
I refuse to believe that anybody clicked on the knobs. Know what I mean? Just like I'm not clicking on something that says the knobs. That's not what I'm clicking on.
Have you forgot what type of place the internet is?
Don't knock it till you try it, Simon.
Man.
Wrap those boys in butter. Slick around the edge.
I'm going to be honest. I thought that like the people going like, oh, and I mentioned it. No one knew what I was talking about. We're just being annoying. Know what I mean? Like pretending they were like in some in group that wasn't really an in group. But I'm seeing in the chat, like there's people that don't know what we're talking about. It really just TikTok is just feeding certain people and not to other people. Cause it is, I can't escape it. It just shows up over and over and over again.
You're stuck in a cornhole.
I'm stuck in a cornhole.
Joey has a really good question. How is Simon Says not one of our game shows? Simon? And he's gone. That's fine. Did
you tell him that, Simon? Can we reveal yet?
Well, if Simon says.
If Simon says, yeah.
If Simon says.
I have a rule. If someone makes a Simon Says joke within the first 24 hours of meeting them, they'll never be my friend. Not because like I hate them as a person, but like if they say that to me, then like I just don't think we're compatible as friends. Like if you hear my name, you're like, oh, Simon Says. Like I haven't heard that 100 times today. Like it's just probably not going to work out.
Simon, your attitude change after this question it's made my night. Thank you. Thank you for being you. Let's go to the chat before we do the reveal. Mr. Scampers went 11% with It's Corn. Dame said 0. I think all 4 options are 0. It's possible.
I think so too. I'm with Dame on this one.
Albert went with 13%. Marty went with 17%.
Did we even reveal?
No, I was just going by the what the chat said first.
Oh, you're doing chat
okay
first?
Is that all right with you?
Sure. I got confused. I'm just asking questions.
All right. Let's see what you guys went with. 25%, 69%. Whoa, 31%.
Eric, where'd you get that really sick dollar bow tie? How'd you get that?
Man.
Maybe you won it somewhere?
Yeah,
trying to bribe him.
I crushed this question at the expo about Najee Harris, and I won this prized bow tie. Perfect for any occasion. Dress it up, dress it down.
And the
most versatile piece in my collection.
Yeah, the video of all the trivia at the expo might come out sometime before the Super Bowl. We'll see about that.
Hey, I got COVID right when I was trying to edit it. I'll fix it up. We'll get that out next week.
I am perpetually the bottleneck for pushing out videos with green screen media, so I feel that in so many ways.
It's coming out.
The percentage of the public that favorite thing about corn is it's corn. What percentage do you think went with the knobs? What do you think?
I'm going to kill you. Just tell me. Just tell me.
Okay.
I don't even care how many people said the knobs. Okay, I don't want to know how many sick twisted people clicked on the knobs.
The knobs was the lowest percentage at 5%. The second lowest percentage was, believe it or not, it has the juice at 10%.
I believe it.
This is exactly how I mapped it out. I've done my most in-depth analysis on this one question.
35% went with butter plus corn equals, which leaves 50% for A, it's corn. The closest, I believe, was Simon.
Boom. Just add on right there to my lead.
We will munch.
I'm just going to put the whole number up there because I want it to just showcase. I think that's my highest poll perception score ever, 23. And all I had to do was cheat. That was it. That's the
all
secret
you
of
had
this
to do.
game, guys. Eric, I wanted to thank you so much for coming on today with us, my man. It's been a pleasure. It's been a treat hanging out.
You were
with
the man,
as
Eric.
Always.
Man, this was a fun one. I'm just glad I didn't come in last. That is always my goal here. So, JL,
it's fine. It's where I belong. This is my comfort zone. I'm cool here. I've made it my home, Put a little furniture in, a little rug, blanket. I'm good.
Guys, while JL's relaxing down there at the bottom, you guys should go and make sure you're following our friend Eric on Twitter at FantasyNav. And then make sure you are checking out Green Screens Media as well. They're at Get Green Screens on Twitter and TikTok. And then on YouTube, they're at Green Screens Media. Everyone in the chat who played along with us today, thank you so much for joining us. We will be back here next week playing some more games, so make sure to tune in then. Until then, though, we are out of here. On Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern time.
Sunday.
It's our final mock draft FanDuel stream of the off season, so make sure you guys come and mock draft with us this Sunday at 7 p.m. Until then, we are out of here. We'll see you guys then. Adios.
We love you.